Okay, welcome students. So in this session we are going to study the maximum mode, minimum mode, configuration or system design. Okay. So in the last session we were studied the maximum mode, minimum mode, system operation. Okay. How the maximum mode operates and how the minimum mode operates, then how the read cycle is present and how the write cycle is operate. Okay, these are the things we are studied in last class. So today we are going to study how to design a system by using maximum mode or minimum mode. Okay, generally what is system design? To design one system, that is called system design. So system means as per the requirement we are developing on hardware. For example, if you're going to purchase one CPU, so what are the configuration you need? 4 GB RAM, 1 TB hard disk, then i3 processor, then 3 megahertz, then graphics card interface, then 7.1 audio output. Okay, these are the some configuration of the system, right? Same way here, by using 8086 we are going to design one system by using minimum mode and maximum mode. Okay, let us see the video.
U.com.
Okay. So first of all we are going to see the minimum mode system design or minimum mode system configuration. Okay, so the objective is design a minimum mode system as per the following features: 64 KB ROM, 64 KB RAM, input output device. Okay, so these are the requirement or configuration. So according to this requirement we are going to design one system. Okay, so that is called system design or system configuration, the very easiest one. Okay, right. Before design a system we must know what are the things we want. Okay, so if you going to purchase one computer, what are things you purchase? CPU, mouse, keyboard, monitor, then printer, scanner, etc, etc. Okay, so these are the things as per your requirement you will purchase. Same way, before design one system you must know what are the components you want. Okay, so let us list. First one, the latches. Latch, what is latch? Latch is just like a lock. The input and output both are same. When if you are applying a small pulse to the latches transfer the input to output. Okay, that is a latch. So here we need three numbers of 8-bit latch, that is used to demultiplex address lines. So already we studied the address bus and data bus are multiplexed each other. So in order to demultiplex we using three latch. By using the three latch we can demultiplex address lines. We are using three latch. Each latch is 8-bit, so totally 24-bit, but our address lines is 20-bit, so remaining 4 bits are free. So address lines are 20 bits, so we need to demultiplex 20 bits address bus, so that we are using 3 8-bit latch. Then the latches are controlled by ALE signal, that is generated by the bus controller or 8086 microprocessor. In in minimum mode the ALE signal is generated by 8086. In maximum mode the ALE signal is generated by bus controller. Okay, then second thing is transceiver. So transceiver means transmitter, receiver, both are combined together, that is called transceiver. So two numbers of transceiver is used. So the transceiver is controlled by data enabled data transfer or receive signal used to control transceiver. Okay, these two signals are that is used to control the transceiver. The transceiver number is 8286. Okay, so we need two numbers of transceiver. Then clock generator. Okay, so the clock generator that is used to generate the clock pulses. This clock pulses is used to operate the 8086 microprocessor and the memory device such as RAM, ROM and some IO device also. Okay, so the clock pulses are used to synchronize the devices. Okay, so the 8284 used to generate the clock. The 8284 that is used to generate the clock. So the generate reset and ready signals for 8086. The 15 MHz crystal oscillator is connected with 8284. The 15 MHz crystal oscillator generates the frequency for 8284 clock generator. Okay. Then chip select logic. So that is an important thing present in all the computer and motherboard and digital devices. What is chip select logic or CS logic? What is chip select? What is chip? Chip is a IC present in a motherboard. Okay. So in a motherboard we are having a lot of integrated circuits. So that integrated circuits is not always switched on. Okay. Whenever we need, we can switch on the integrated circuits. For example, in our mobile phone, we are using a camera. Camera is one of the integrated circuit. Behind the camera, you can see that is looking like integrated circuit that is fabricated over the motherboard or soldered over motherboard. Okay, so the camera is not always switched on, right? Whenever we are opening the camera app, at the time the camera is switched on, otherwise the camera is switched off condition. Similarly, audio player is not audio players, audio amplifier. So audio amplifier present inside the every mobile phone. This audio amplifier is not always switched on. Whenever we are playing a song, at the time the audio amplifier is switched on and it derives the speaker. Similarly, the speaker is also not always switched on. The speaker is switched on when we produce sound. So every device in digital, the chips are not always switched on. Whenever the requirement, we are enable or disable the particular chip. So that is done by chip select logic. Okay, but in analog device, all the section are switched on. If you switch on the power supply, all the section are switched on in analog. But in digital device, whenever we need, at the time only the particular chip are switched on. That is the difference between analog and digital. Okay, why we are using this chip select logic? So the main purpose is reduce the power consumption. So most of the digital devices are running over battery power. So battery power is no long present. So in order to improve power consumption, we are switch off the particular device whenever in not use. So the chip select logic that is used to enable or disable the particular chip connected with 8086 for requirement. Okay, according to the requirement, it will enable or disable the particular chip. Okay, right. So the CS logic is by a decoder. It is a decoder. So the input from 8086 are bus high enabled B high G A naught and some address lines. So these are the input from the 8086 bus high enable A0 and some address lines which generate the control signal used to select RAM or ROM or IO. The output CS logic connected with the CS input of RAM, ROM and IO. So every chip has one terminal that is called CS, SIP chip select input. So if you are providing some input to the particular pin, the particular IC is enabled or disabled according to the input given to some particular IC or chip. Okay, so the chip select logic is always used to enable or disable the particular chip present in our motherboard. Okay, right. The next one is this is our diagram. So this is our system 8.86 system along with the minimum mode configuration. See, here we are using two transceiver 74245 is a transceiver IC, then three numbers of latches we are used here. Okay, okay, then one demultiplex that is used to generate the control signals. Then this is a chip select logic that is used to enable the chip RAM, ROM, RAM, ROM. Okay, right. Here we are using devices such as RAM, ROM, and IO. These are the external devices that is connected with the 806 microprocessor in minimum mode. Here we are using a clock generator 8284. The clock generator provides the clock, read set, and ready signal to the microprocessor. Okay, right. Then microprocessor generates the control signal, that is memory bar IO, then RD, then WR. These three control signal given to the DMUX generate the same control signal as 4. That means memory read, memory write, IO read, IO write. Okay, these control signals are connected with the device RAM, ROM, and IO. See, in our RAM, the input control signals are memory read MRD, then memory write MRD, that is connected to the RD and WR bar. Then CS is the pin present in a RAM that is connected with the chip select logic output. Then CSE, that is also another one chip select. Okay. Similarly, ROM also the same manner we can connect the ROM, but in ROM we can read the data, we cannot write. So we are using memory read signal. Then IO we are using chip select and IO read and IO write. These three control signals are used. All the chips are connected with address bus. Okay, 20-bit address bus and 16-bit data bus. The address bus is coming from latches. The latches demultiplex address and data bus into address bus. Similarly, transceiver convert the address and data bus into data bus. Okay, so this is a 8086 CPU. Okay, transceiver is controlled by DEN and DT bar R bar signal. Okay, latches are controlled by ALE signal. Then chip select logic is controlled by bus high enable and address lower address bit A0. Okay, right. So these are the control signals used in the minimum mode configuration. So by using this minimum mode configuration, we can connect RAM, ROM, and IO or other integrated circuit along with the 8086 microprocessor. Okay, so it's a very important question, very important diagram. Okay, right. Next one, the clock cycles. This clock cycle is already we studied in last session, that is minimum mode, maximum mode operation. The same clock cycles are used here also. Okay, so no need to draw the clock cycle if the question asks to write or draw the time period. Okay, similarly write time, this is a write time clock cycle. Okay, right. This is also same as setup in the previous session. Okay, right. Next one, maximum mode system design. So the maximum mode is designed to be used with the co-processor that is exists in the system. What is the difference between minimum mode and maximum mode? Minimum mode is a single CPU or single microprocessor or single processor. Maximum mode means multi-processor. Okay, so more than one processor is connected with the microprocessor 8086. Okay, so here coprocessor is exist with the 8086. All the control signals except RD are generated by excuse me. All the control signals except RD are generated by microprocessor. Okay, 8086 microprocessor. Okay, right. Then the maximum mode signals already we studied in a previous session the same thing. So pin number 24 to 31 we are having the different control signals, okay, for maximum mode. This is also already we studied in last session. Okay, then the requirement of designing maximum mode. The first one is the latches. So here also the same concept, that is a three numbers of 8-bit latches are used. These latches are demultiplex the address lines. Okay, latches are enabled by address latch enabled, that is generated by the bus controller. Okay, in previous minimum mode the address latch enabled is generated by the 8086 microprocessor. Okay, then transceivers. Two numbers of transceiver are used. The transceiver that is used to control the data flow from forward and reverse direction. That means data transfer, data reception. Transceiver means transmitter and receiver. Okay, here two numbers of transceiver is used. This transceiver is controlled by DEN and DT bar R bus signals. Okay, so these two signals are coming from bus controller. Okay, then bus controller 8288 bus controller is used to generate bus control signals. So we are not using this bus controller in minimum mode. So bus controller is a separate controller, that is without any knowledge the bus controller perform the data transmission and data reception. Okay, uh, but in minimum mode the bus controller is no need, because the microcontroller itself generate the transfer instructions or control signals. Okay, but in maximum mode we are using more number of co-processor and other processor. So bus controller that is needed to improve the data transmission and data reception. Okay, so 8288 bus controller used to generate the bus control signals. The input of 8288 is status bits or status lines S0, S1, S2 from 8086. Okay, these are the input of the bus controller. Then some important signals that is coming from bus controller. So the bus controller convert the status S1, S2, S0 into these control signals, around 6 control signals. Memory read direct memory read command, then memory write command, IO read command, IO write command, advanced memory write command, advanced IO write command. Okay, so these are the control signals that is generated by the bus controller. Okay, but in previous minimum mode these the control signals are memory read, memory write, IO read, IO write, only 4 signals. But here we are using 6 signals. Okay, these 6 signals are very important to control the read write operations along between the memory and the IO. Okay, so this is the block diagram of maximum mode system design. So maximum mode system design is almost same as that of minimum mode system design, except one thing, that is a bus controller. Okay, bus controller is a extra block. Remaining latches is same as of minimum mode system design. Data buffer. Okay, so here we are using a data buffer instead of transceiver. Okay, in some case we can use the transceiver also. Okay, right. The transceiver provide the data bus to RAM, ROM and IO devices. The latches provide address bus to RAM, ROM and IO devices. Then CS logic that is used to generate the chip select logic to select the RAM, select the ROM and select IO. Okay, the bus controller generate the bus control signal, that is data transfer, data reception signals. That signal is based on the status line S0, S1, S2. Okay, right. And the bus high enable that is used to generate the or control the CS logic along with the lower address line A0. Okay, so the CS logic that is used to select the chip select signal is to generate chip select signal of different chip present in our system design. Okay, our system. Okay, Then clock generator is as usually it generates the clock pulses. Okay, so 15 megahertz crystal oscillator is connected with this clock generator, and it will generate the ready and reset signals. Okay, so here the processor is very low tension, because in minimum mode the microprocessor itself generate all the control signal, but in maximum mode the 8 to 88 bus controller is used to generate the bus control signal. So microprocessor is most of the time it will free, so that it can handle more number of processor along with the address bus and data bus in maximum mode. Okay, right. So this is a maximum mode block diagram. So very important question. Okay, any one of the question asked from this university examination. Okay, right, minimum mode and a maximum mode. Okay, right. Then this is a memory read clock cycle. Okay, the timing diagram of memory read in maximum mode. Already we have studied this timing diagram in last session. If you are not clear, please watch the previous session. Okay, then this is also read maximum mode read timing diagram. So this is also we have studied in the last session. Okay, right. So up to this we studied the maximum mode, minimum mode, system design. Generally a system design means we are going to design a new system along with some different hardwares based on our requirement. If you purchase one computer, as already I said, you want 4 GB RAM, 500 GB hard disk, and this much this thing like that. So these things are listed out, and we are purchase a device or computer, any other thing. Same way system design is used to design any one system. Okay, so in university examination the system design can ask any way. Okay, so instead of RAM, ROM, IO, we can connect any other chip. Okay, just rename the RAM, ROM, IO, and you can write the name of the particular chip in your question. For example, connect DMA controller means you have to replace the RAM into DMA controller, and you can add some control signal different way. Okay, right. Likewise you can develop the new system according to our requirement. Okay students, thanks for watching. Take notes. If you have any doubts, please free to contact me through mail, that is yo.com channel at gmail.com. Okay, right. So please subscribe and put like and share this video. Okay, thank you so much.